Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you very much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Sunday to you and your family. We're taking a look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on with this Sunday pump here to upwards of 28,000. What is it, right? 20,200. We had a nice push there, try to squeeze out some of those shorts. There's a reason for it though. Likely some fundamental catalysts. We'll cover that and much more. So if you are new to the channel, just know I love teaching people to trade. In fact, I do want to show you one quick cool thing here in our community because of course we're all learning and growing together. We have a really awesome group of just different dynamic traders. We all have different strategies in place. But take a look at this nice long here from Cryptomatic, or Magnet rather, one of my admins. 100x long from 23,500. Keep up the good work, buddy. Hopefully you don't hold on for too long. But he's more of a swing trader just like myself, so he loves to hit those targets. Same thing with Alexandra here. Nice shorts and longs both directions. So yeah, some awesome traders there. I just want to kind of highlight that and touch on it. Just great job everybody. Keep up the good work. I love that we're kind of positively sharing our our highlights there because it's important to recognize that. We trading can be a very solo project. You can be very alone, but you don't have to be alone if you want to decide to be part of something bigger there. So check that out in your own time. The thing I want to touch on first of all, of course, just kind of likely the reason for this pump here is the fact that we do have Hong Kong unveiling the plans to let retail investors trade cryptocurrency. What that basically just means is as of July 1st, we are looking at potential for increase there, essentially to allow for people to effectively be able to trade in Hong Kong. Okay, so that's a really big deal. That is kind of something that's on the horizon here in the next few months. So just know that that is playing a factor, and that could lead to a continuation of the upside here, along with the other things too, right? Where the traditional markets and everything is responding kind of average, but Bitcoin is up hard. Okay, so with Bitcoin increasing and traditional markets kind of plateauing, that tells us there's some crypto positivity. Okay, so fear, uncertainty, and doubt is definitely pretty low. In fact, let's take a quick look at that here. We can see here that we have, fear and greed index is at a 63 right now. That's definitely bullish. A lot of times when we have bullish trends, we can see that color reflecting. But the bottom line is that the fear is low and greed is effectively higher. So more people are trying to invest. Keep in mind, a lot of asks are in the market right now. Okay, so shorts are filling the market right now. Okay, open interest is kind of leveling out today. Of course, it's a weekend. Yesterday it was up. So generally speaking, we're seeing a lot more money come into the market. We're seeing a lot of shorts trying to short at this point because they feel it's overextended, as do I. But once again, overextensions don't really matter too much when there's fundamental catalysts. It's kind of this nonsensical stuff that happens in cryptocurrency. It's completely contradictory to any specific trading technique in a lot of ways. For the most part, it's hard to anticipate these things because you never truly know what the world's going to offer, okay, until it happens. That being said, everything looks pretty decent here. All in all, let's take a quick look at some liquidation levels here, kind of get a perspective on where we have support and resistance zones. There's a lot of resistance at 28,000, and we can also see here, of course, 26.5 is another range. So likely range bound between 26.5 and 28K, unless we can break above this. I don't feel like we're going to break just based from a technical standpoint because there's a lot of reasons not to. TD sequential, we are at an 8 right now, and you got to keep in mind in the last 9 trading days, Bitcoin is up 43%. So while that's all well and good, I love to see that. Those things happening, that much growth in that much amount of time, leads to bleed outs, just like this here. In fact, let's go and take a quick look at RSI so you kind of draw a comparison here so you can see this right here. We can see right there at about 68, there is a case in point where the RSI comes up there, gets rejected, price slowly bleeds out. We're right here at 70, price will potentially bleed out. Okay, so again, there's no guarantees on that, right? But patterns have a tendency of repeating themselves. Usually when you come up to 70 on the RSI and you get rejected at that point, the price will continue to taper off. Okay, so right back over here at January 11th, we can see the price action broke through the RSI at 70. That's also a case in point where the price action is kind of contradictory, right? The price continues through that level and it continued higher. So this is a case in point where anything could happen, right? So there's no doubt that the price could keep going up. I'm not saying that it will go down, but it just from a technical standpoint, it makes more sense for it to retrace if we're going to be able to sustain this kind of level, right? If we don't want this kind of dip, if you will, then we want to be able to maintain it nice little up over patterns, and those are things that I like to see. Okay, all right, so that being said, that's where we're at here. Looking good for the most part for Bitcoin in that sense. Absolutely giving us a lot of bullish indications it wants to continue, but there's overextensions and things of that nature that are really telling us that we are sort of maxing out so far. But if we can close above 70 on the RSI, there's a solid chance, 28,000 or higher here today for a closure. We might see further continuation. We need more consolidation though. That's all there is to it. 1 or 2 trading days in this range is not enough. Okay, so just keep that in mind. There is definitely potential for the price action to decrease, but from a fundamental standpoint, the likelihood of the price continuing higher is still there. Right. So again, that's the contradiction that we have with trading sometimes. It will continue to prove you wrong, depending on which side of the tracks you're on. And you can never truly pick the right side. Okay, you just kind of got to hope to mitigate your loss and maximize your gain. Taking a look here at the MACD, we can see it's trying to converge, but we're not there yet. A closure again, a little bit higher might be a different story. RSI is still plateauing at 70. Just keep in mind also, anytime we've seen the RSI close to 70 in the past, it has a tendency of coming back down shortly after. Okay, so with that being said, we are overextended for a long time at this level. There's a good chance the price will continue to work sideways and potentially higher, but it also could continue sideways and down. But we are seeing some type of wedge pattern here form with a previous pennant type of pattern. So the more often you continue to have those pennant or breakout patterns in a row, the less likely they are to occur. This being the second potential breakout, there's a very low likelihood of a third, if that makes sense, right? So in other words, just different trading patterns, different things to pay attention to, but generally speaking, we are overextended here for the lack of better terms. Taking a look at the 1 hour, let's see how we're at here as well. We're coming up to an 8 and getting potentially rejected at that resistance level. We got a 9 here previously, 9 plus overtime with a brief period of consolidation. So generally speaking, while this period of consolidation is nice, we've had a lot of 9s in a row here, and that really, really needs to calm down and relax before it comes up again. All right, so again, generally speaking, the hourly is overextended, okay? Let's take a look at the cloud. I'm sure we're gonna be still above that. We're maintaining a price point above the cloud. Lagging span is free and clear of the price action now, conversion line above the baseline. So this really is giving us confirmation that a long position is much more viable at this point than a short position. So keep in mind, short positions, you wanna be very careful. We have actually one open ourselves, but it's a really small position size, and we've averaged ourselves up as the price continued higher. So I'm not super concerned about that. Even if we get stopped out, it's okay, because there's a lot of other gains and opportunities that we can maximize the potential with, right? So again, don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's okay to take some small losses. The key is to maximize your gain and to use trailing take profit targets. Typically, those who are target triggered. I prefer those kind of things myself. It's all fully automated, built into our trading bots. But generally speaking, it's a really better way to trade if you are hands off. Okay. Either way, that's all stuff that kind of comes with the community. Obviously, check that out in your own time, cryptocash.tech as a site. But for lack of better terms here, we're looking pretty decent. Let's do one last double check here with our CC Golden Indicator. We can see here that there was a sell signal here previously, telling us that we are absolutely in overtime right now. Okay, so I think at this point here, we're in a position where the price action is looking overextended on every single time frame. And I think we only have maybe a day or two left of continuation of the upside. I'm speculating we're going to see some red sometime soon because, again, what goes up must come down. Parabolic increases are unique and rather uncommon, and it could very well happen, don't get me wrong, but the probability is very low. Okay, I do feel like we might run to a much higher price point in the relative near future, but we can't sustain that if we don't continue to consolidate. Okay, almost 50% in a little over a week and a half. That's too much growth in a short amount of time. And when you see that happen, it has to correct itself at one point or another. So not saying you should short, but it doesn't make a tremendous amount of sense for the price to go too much further from here, just from a technical standpoint, right? Fundamentals, totally different story. Pay attention to the news. And if you want to watch our live stream on Wednesday, we are going to actually cover the Fed meeting as well and essentially work that into our roundtable discussion. So check that out in your own time. Again, cryptocash.tech is a site if you want to learn more and become a better trader. Thanks so much for joining me here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.